Welcome. As you gently drift into sleep, allow your mind to rest. Tonight, we'll explore a fascinating and mysterious part of the human mind, something called the Capgras delusion. Let your breath slow, inhale softly, and exhale gently. Let go of the day's noise, the tension, the thoughts, and let's begin this quiet journey through psychology and perception. You are safe, you are calm, and your mind is open to discovery. Capgras delusion is not well known. It is not something you learn about in everyday life, but it holds within it one of the most powerful truths about the human brain. It shows us how delicate the bond is between recognition and emotion, between what we see and what we feel. Imagine this. You open your eyes one morning, everything looks normal. The sunlight filters through your window. The clock ticks gently on the wall. You hear footsteps in the hallway, familiar ones, and then you see them. Your partner, or your mother, or your best friend. They greet you with a warm voice. They smile at you, their eyes are kind. Their face is the same one you've known for years. But deep inside you, something shifts. Something doesn't feel right. You blink. You try to shake it off, but the feeling grows stronger. They look like her. You think, but that's not really her. This isn't the person I know. And so begins the quiet terror of Capgras delusion. It is not a loud, dramatic thing. It doesn't come with screams or panic. It comes in silence and in doubt. It begins with a soft whisper in the mind. This person is an impostor. They've been replaced. A copy, a clone, a perfect stranger in a familiar shell. Capgras delusion is classified as a delusional misidentification syndrome. It is rare, but when it appears, it can deeply affect the lives of those involved. The condition was first described in 1923 by French psychiatrist Joseph Capgras, who treated a woman who believed that multiple people in her life had been replaced by exact doubles. She wasn't confused, she wasn't hallucinating. She simply believed, with absolute certainty, that the people around her were no longer real, that they had been replaced. But what causes such a strange belief? To understand that, we must first understand something about the brain. The human brain has many specialized systems. One part of the brain helps us recognize faces. Another part helps us feel emotion. These systems work together seamlessly until something breaks. In Capgras delusion, scientists believe that the visual recognition system still works. The person can still see and recognize faces. They can still say, "Yes, this looks like my father," or "Yes, this is my wife's voice," but the emotional connection is gone. Completely gone. The brain no longer sends that feeling of warmth, of safety, of bonding that we normally get when we see someone we love. So instead of love, there is emptiness. Instead of trust, there is distance. Instead of connection, there is confusion. And the mind, in its brilliant and terrifying creativity, tries to explain this confusion. It invents a story that makes emotional sense. This must be a fake, a copy, a perfect replica, but not the real person. The delusion can be strong, so strong, in fact, that no amount of evidence changes it. You can show the person photos, old memories, shared jokes. You can hold their hand and remind them of past experiences. But the brain resists, because to them, those memories now belong to the imposter. They may say things like, "You look like him, but you're not him. You're lying to me. You've replaced her. Where is she?" It can be heartbreaking, both for the one experiencing the delusion and for the one being doubted. Capgras delusion is not common, but it is most often seen in people with schizophrenia, dementia, traumatic brain injury, neurological diseases that affect perception and memory. Some people experience it only briefly, others live with it for years. It can be constant or come and go in episodes, and it doesn't always affect people. Sometimes the delusion can extend to pets, to homes, even to objects. "I know this looks like my house," they may say, "but something is off. This is not my home." The world becomes unfamiliar, not in appearance, but in emotion. Let us take a moment now to simply breathe. Inhale gently and exhale slowly. Let this idea settle into your mind that your brain doesn't just help you see others, it helps you feel them. It tells you, this person is safe, this person is mine, this person loves me, and when that connection is severed, the world becomes unfamiliar, even frightening. Capgras delusion reminds us how fragile that connection is, how important emotion is to every relationship we have. So, as you drift deeper into sleep, let this lesson remain with you, not as fear, but as understanding. Be grateful for the connections you feel, for the comfort of recognizing a voice, a hand, a laugh, a presence. And if you or someone you love ever loses that connection, know that it is not madness, it is the mind trying to protect itself, trying to make sense of a world that suddenly feels unfamiliar. You are safe, you are whole, and you are deeply connected to yourself and to the people who truly see you. Now, let go of thought, let go of fear. And as your body sinks into rest, we'll gently explore next. Why does the mind, the most intimate part of ourselves, suddenly misplace its trust? Why would it tell someone that their child is not their child, that their lover is gone and replaced by something artificial? To understand Capgras delusion, we must journey into the deepest, most delicate circuits of the human brain, not into logic or language, but into recognition, emotion, and connection. Let's begin with something simple. A face. You see a face, familiar, soft, smiling. Your brain recognizes it instantly. There's no hesitation, no effort. That face belongs to your sister, your father, your best friend. But what makes it feel familiar? What makes your heart respond with warmth or calm? Is not just sight. It is feeling, it is emotional memory. It is the silent harmony between two systems in your brain, what you see and what you feel. In a healthy mind, these systems speak to each other constantly, effortlessly. You see a face, your brain identifies it, and your emotions confirm, yes, this is someone I love, I am safe. But in Capgras delusion, that bridge between the visual recognition system and the emotional system, that connection is damaged. It may be from an injury. It may be from a neurological condition like schizophrenia or Alzheimer's disease, or even a sudden trauma. Whatever the reason, the connection is broken. The wires are crossed. The signal is lost. The person can still see the face. They can describe it, recognize features, remember the name. But something is missing. The emotional spark, the warm confirmation that says, yes, I know you, I trust you. That spark never arrives. Instead, the face feels wrong. Not visually wrong, but emotionally hollow. This emotional emptiness creates discomfort. It creates dissonance. The brain sees someone it should care for deeply, but feels nothing in return. And the brain does not tolerate uncertainty. It tries to explain this strange emptiness to make sense of the mismatch. So, it builds a story. And sometimes, that story becomes a delusion. This person looks like someone I know, but they are not real. They are an impostor. This is a belief born from the mind's desperate attempt to explain why the heart feels nothing. It's not a trick, not a fantasy, not manipulation. It is the mind trying to make sense of its own broken connections. Neurologically, scientists believe Capgras may involve damage to the pathway between the fusiform gyrus responsible for facial recognition and the amygdala, the emotional center that processes feelings of connection, safety, and familiarity. Think of it like this. You're hearing a familiar voice over the phone, but the emotional tone is gone. Flat, robotic. It sounds like your friend, but something feels off. That's the experience of Capgras, but with faces. Sometimes this disconnect is caused by brain trauma, a stroke, or a degenerative disease. Other times, it arises alongside psychiatric conditions, like paranoid schizophrenia, where delusions already form part of daily life. But not always. There are rare cases where Capgras appears suddenly in people who are otherwise functioning well. In these cases, stress, sleep deprivation, or even seizures may play a role. Regardless of the cause, the result is the same: an unbearable sense of unfamiliarity toward the most familiar things. The mind begins to fear the face it once loved, to doubt the voice it once trusted, to question the reality of its own world. Capgras is not just about mistaken identity, it is about loss of emotional reality. A person may know, logically, that this is their mother, but emotionally, they feel nothing, and that emptiness becomes terrifying. So the brain protects itself by building a delusion that feels safer than the truth. This person must be a fake. We often think delusions are signs of madness, but sometimes they are signs of the brain trying to survive confusion, trying to cope with brokenness. By creating a story it can understand. Capgras delusion is not cruelty, it is not coldness, it is pain. It is the mind calling out, "I see you, but I can't feel you. I remember your name, but not your presence. Who are you? And where did the real you go?" And this quiet heartbreak is what lies beneath the surface of Capgras.